Hello there viewers and welcome to another edition of our women's program. Today is a very significant and an important day, and well, we all know that today is the 8th of March, which is International Women's Day. And we here in Doordarshan Shillong are going to celebrate the woman of the achievements that she has made over decades and so many years in both the social, economic, political fields. Of course, women, it has not been easy. The journey for women hasn't been easy at all. But then, this day, 8th of March, is a day where we raise consciousness, where we talk about the woman and also speak about the challenges that women have to face in her everyday life and living, and what more needs to be done when it concerns women in different aspects of society. So, we are going to speak about her and how important it is to collectively bring about a gender equal world, to raise the consciousness of everybody in society about the role that women plays. So indeed it is a very significant day, and to celebrate the women, I am being joined in the studio right now by three panelists. They have come from different fields of life. So may I go ahead and introduce our panelists to you. Well, to my left is Professor Monideepa Sen. She is the head of the Department of Sociology, St. Mary's College, Shillong. We are also being joined by Major Rajitha Devakaran. She is the Administrating Officer from 61 Meghalaya Girls Battalion, NCC, Shillong. And of course, to my extreme left is Lieutenant Ibansara Milinga. She is the Associate NCC Officer of Women's College, Shillong. Well, there you have it, all three beautiful ladies here to talk about women, the role that women plays once again. And I hope you will be staying on with us right now and enjoy the different things that they have to share with us in this program. So very, very warm welcome to each one of you to Doordarshan Shillong. Thank you so much for coming to the studio, for making time for this program. And today we are here, of course, as I'm stressing on the word called celebrate the woman. Thank you so much. So if I may begin this discussion, my first question is to you, Ma'am Monideepa. When we talk about the woman, she has, as I said, she has come a long way. Being a sociologist, I'm sure you have also, gone through, you've read the number of hardships that women has to go through and has gone through to make her mark in what she is today. However, 8th of March is a day to celebrate the woman, is International Women's Day. So tell us a little bit, according to you, how important is this day for you?
Very, very important indeed, because women need to be celebrated, if you ask me, not just on one day, one particular day of the year, but they need to be celebrated in every field of life, every day of the year. Theirs is a very difficult journey, but they've come so far, withstanding all the oppression, all the difficulties that they've had to face, but they've come up triumphs and they have made a mark for themselves in their own right in this field. So 8th March, a very welcome celebratory day for women.
Absolutely. And when you said that they have made a mark in different aspects of life, so I come to you, Ma'am Rajitha. You are donning a uniform of the National Cadet Corps, and you're a major, of course, an officer from that. How do you look at women being from that field, from the NCC?
NCC grooms young children, like girls and boys both from school as well as college, to become capable citizens of India, to make, actually the aim of NCC is to make them leaders in all walks of life. Right. So I would say as officer, as staff, we groom them to become leader and take decision. The training is imparted as such.
Right, and so this day definitely is also important.
Every day is important. A womanhood has to be celebrated every day. That's my personal opinion. Well, a special day is always a welcome.
Right. So I come to you, Ibansara. You are from the Department also of social works in a women's college. Apart from that, of course, you are the associate NCC officer, right? I've often seen you, you know, smartly in your uniform and then taking care of all the girls, especially being from the social work department. I've seen also the girls participating in so many social activities. According to you, therefore, how significant is this day today?
Okay. First of all, when it comes to young girls, okay, they need somebody whom they can idolize, and then when they see others in uniform, like students who are in uniform, it motivates the other students who are not a part of NCC. And many times they approach me, ma'am, we also want to join NCC, just by seeing them in the uniform. So being a part of their life as their teacher and as an ANO, associate NCC officer, it helps me to groom them, because all the teachers cannot take care of every individual student, but then I get a chance to personally meet them and then talk to them and then groom them accordingly.
Right. So this day is, you feel, is therefore very, very significant. Of course, as ma'am also said, every day should be Women's Day, and we need to celebrate her every day. But then that a day is allotted, you know, for us women, that itself is a huge, you know, reason to celebrate, right? Thank you so much for your opening comments. And now let me just move ahead and this discussion and come to another question that I think we really ought to speak about, and that is, you know, the reasons to celebrate women. Like as I said, ma'am Munideepa, that women have come a long way. You know, it wasn't easy. I mean, women were the last lot, in fact, when historically speaking, who got the right to vote. You know, they were the, I mean, and we in India, India's, in a better position, because immediately after independence, there was no such question of, you know, not getting our voting rights. We got it as on equal terms to men. However, so what, according to you, are the reasons to celebrate women?
That she has come where she is today, despite all these hardships. And she has shown that she is at par, even though we discriminate her on the basis of gender, which I'm bound to say is a cultural construct. She is no different from her male counterpart in her ability, in her you know, her talents and her capabilities. She can do so much if she only would be given the chance. And that is where the discrimination happens, because we make her a social construct, and we teach her to be as society would want her to be.
Right.
You know, from the time a girl is young, she is taught how to be a good girl. How to dress correct, how to cross her legs, how to speak, you know, properly, speak only when spoken to be seen and not heard. And so we try to groom her as society would want her to. If she would only be given her free way to develop, she would be able to make a mark. And my heart goes out to the many, many women in the rural areas who don't have even access to primary education. So for me, that is very important, because education is the only tool of empowerment.
Right. We'll come back to that once again a little later. But then, as we are celebrating the women, as Ma'am Munideepa has also said, there are plenty of reasons to celebrate the women. I mean, seeing you donning the uniform and being here with us, you know, with your own right, I'm sure that you have gone to this field because you wished to do so, right? And today we see women all over. In every field of life, she's making her mark, and she's doing it very, very well. You know, as ma'am said, that we only need to give her the chance, and she outshines the rest, right? So tell us a little bit, you know, about yourself personally. That did you choose to be in this profession yourself, or how did it come about?
Well, I was an NCC cadet that had a charm in this, But then it was, I would say, just, frankly, I'd applied for various things. This happened first, so I just got into it and I really liked it. But yes, there are challenges like constant transfers. Like it's an all India service, so every 2 years I have to pack my bag and go. So I've got when my child was small, it was difficult because we have that, either if it comes in the month of May, academically it's okay, but every time my posting would come in the month of October. So moving, it's a family thing. My son has to be moved in the mid-session, so he would get upset at times, say, his report card is stuck somewhere. So it comes with a lot of challenges.
Right, but then yet you could balance it.
Yes.
That is what, Iban, I think women plays, isn't it? That balancing role. I have seen number of women who are homemakers, but then who are also, working outside with equal elan, balancing the two. Right? Your thoughts on this?
And one more reason to celebrate women is we survive. And when it comes to mental health, I would like to throw a light upon mental health. We go through a lot. It's not a new topic to speak about mental health of women, mental status of women. We go through a lot at workplace, in personal lives, and then those who are married and those who are unmarried. But somehow we are surviving and we are thriving. So that is why it's important to celebrate this day.
The moment a child is born, especially a girl child, it's a matter of survival. She has to initially, like in a country like ours, surviving is the first thing. Like, if she is born, that's a great thing. Then for education, most of the rural India, we prefer to send our boys to school. Then that survival, again she's fighting for a right. Again that, if she passes class 10th, then whether she will again to strive to convince her parents, her environment to send her to college. She has to do exceptionally well to get a place in the college, then to choose a job. Then the marriage stress happens. So to marry, she gets married and she's expected to perform the duties of I would say daughter-in-law. Then the next family also she has to take responsibility. So I think she has tremendous challenges. Then take up her career, balance things.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that you brought this, right, ma'am? I think you would agree,
I just want to add a little bit to that surviving bit. We are natural survivors, and I like a personal experience. When my son was born, he was born very premature. And the matron at the hospital told me that if this was a girl, I wouldn't have worried at all, because girls are natural survivors. And he came through eventually, but it was a touch and go. But she was so positive, and she kept on saying, had it been a girl, then we wouldn't have worried at all. So girls are natural survivors. We know how to survive in every environment. Think about it, when a daughter-in-law is brought from another house, she's leaving everything that she's familiar with and coming to a new house, new people, new attitudes, new expectations, and she's expected to perform just as well.
And she's expected also to take up charge immediately. Right? And the first test she has to undergo is in the kitchen. Right? I mean, I've seen it in certain cultures, in certain states, where they test her culinary skill first. Right? She has to prepare something and feed the entire family. So what we agree is that despite several challenges, women have come a long way, and they are doing so very well. Only that we need, that chance to be given to her. But we have to talk about so many issues that still bother women, right? I mean, safety of women is one very important issue. I mean, just today, before I came for this program, in the state of UP, a man was seen walking around with the the dismembered thing, the head of his daughter, a 17-year-old daughter. And the police stopped him. He said, "What did you do? Why did you do?" He very calmly replied, "Well, I did not agree to the man she was, having maybe, a relationship with. So I did it with no guilt, and this is what it is, safety." Now, this is only one aspect, which is so brutal. But then so many brutalities we get to hear and watch every other day on television and read on newspapers. Safety is a serious aspect that still is, is a problem in our country. Ma'am, your thoughts on this?
I'll start right at the home, where she needs to be most secure and most safe. But unfortunately, even though it is kept under wraps and it's not spoken about too much, sexual abuse happens within the family.
Absolutely.
And that is one place where she needs to be safe so that she can be nurtured to her full potential. But this is something that we have to address to a large extent, and I think it is something to do with the mindset. We have to change the mindset of people. Otherwise, with what mindset can a rape be performed on a family member, a sister or a niece, or in some other relation, but a close relation, so much so that they are cohabiting together. So it is something when of course there's safety on the streets, safety at the workplace, but safety in the home is something which must
and
be
often
addressed.
this is so hushed up, right?
I do agree with ma'am,
Yeah.
because I think domestic violence and safety at home, these are like, one thing that we have to, it has to be inculcated at the family level first, and then school, then we can talk about the workplace, because if it comes at home, then I think the society at large, because it should start at the root level, then only, yes.
Right. And Iban, I would like to come to you. Of course, you come from an institution which caters to the education of girls, right? And in the education level also, I mean, we have seen so many dropouts, especially of the girl child. They drop out. They are not. It is not considered important to really educate the girl up to or beyond a certain point. So you coming from a girls' institution where the education is exclusively for the girls, what is your thought on it? How important it is to educate a girl so that she can look after herself as well as become independent in later days, because that is so important, isn't it? Economic independence, emancipation of women.
What I have seen and experienced when I deal with the students, it's that they are taught that they are supposed to get married and bear children. That is their immediate role in the society. So education in their mind is secondary. So if they are not aware about the importance of education, how can we expect that this student will not drop out? When she is seeing a man who is ready to get married and have a family with her, because they get into relationships, it's the adolescent period of their life, they get into relationships, then they enter this wonderland where they'll have a family. So education is secondary for them. So we need to make them aware. We need to tell them that no, education comes first, because if you are educated, then you will realize what is your right. You will realize what is an abuse. If you are not educated, you will never realize where you are going wrong. And ma'am, I would like to add upon this safety of women. We talk about sexual harassment, domestic violence, but there is emotional abuse. Some wounds cannot be shown. Some wounds are not visible, and women are not aware that they are being abused just because the husband is not beating her. I have heard people saying, okay, my son is not beating your daughter, so how come it's an abuse? But they need to be aware what emotional abuse is. That also is a part of education. So they learn all this once they are educated.
Right.
Aware.
So the importance of education is tremendous, right? It not
Tremendous.
only changes, because I think when we talk about change of mindset, it is also important to not just the change of mindset of a man, but also the woman herself.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, she also needs to be aware of her potentiality and not get dominated by somebody, right? She needs to understand this fact. And when we are talking about certain aspects also which the society should look into, is the one we talked about, violence and the education. What about the health sector? I mean, in this state of Meghalaya itself, during the COVID period, there were, women there has been reports that a number of women actually lost their children, their child, unborn child, or at birth. So health is another aspect that. And what about political participation of women? Because it is still not very easy for a lady or a woman to become a representative. How do we change this? Because even now, if there is a man and a woman who will stand for election, invariably the man will get more votes actually. So this is another area of concern, ma'am.
Yes. We pride ourselves for belonging to a society which is matrilineal. I'd like to make a distinction over here, not matriarchal, matrilineal only. The lineage, descent is traced through the female. And most girls sit back over here. I see my students also who are pretty complacent about this, and they think that, oh, it happens in the rest of the country, but it doesn't happen here. And this is very important to understand, that it happens here. We can see all around us plenty of cases where of broken homes, where the mother is, having to bring up the children without any support whatsoever from the father, who is maybe in another relationship or possibly in another marriage for however long it may be. So it is very important that one must realize that bearing children is a societal responsibility. It is not the responsibility of the woman alone. And this is something which must be, drilled in or made aware. Girls must be made aware of this, that you go halfway and meet the man halfway, and only then can you bring up a child. And regarding political participation, again, it has to be changed right at the roots, because it is believed in the Khasi society also that when a hen crows, the world will come to an end. So it calls for rethinking of what we are doing. How many women are there in our political sphere, or even in the darbars, where she has no role. Her role is relegated to the home and the hearth. So this is something that we have to address.
Because matriliny also puts a lot of responsibility on her.
Absolutely.
And she really cannot take a decision or do something on her own. She has to take the support of other male members. Right? Ibani would like to add something on this.
Here in Darbar Shnong, they say that women have the right to represent, but then what will motivate her, or what should motivate her? Is she motivated? Because when she joins the Darbar, the leadership in the political aspect, will she be given the place? Yes, she needs to fight for it, but will they accept it? If she speaks, will they accept? So we need to answer to that, that yes, you are giving us the right, but can you accept it? Because in army also I have seen during the enrollment, and to advertise they use this, do you have it in you? But I would like to say, do we have it in us in general? Do we have it in us? Can we accept women, the other our male members, can they accept if a woman joins? So it's not about just providing the opportunity. She needs to be motivated as well. Self-motivation is a thing, but then some motivation comes from outside. So that is missing.
I would say support.
Support.
That's very essential.
Support is the word.
Unless she is not supported, because in our society, till raising a family is a woman's, the mother's responsibility. So whether you take up a career, that is an extra thing. You have it's an add-on responsibility. You chose to take it. So, but you can't leave your basic responsibility. That is the children and the family is your primary responsibility.
Absolutely. And if a children does something wrong, the mother is always also blamed for it. You couldn't take care of it.
So she has to juggle so many roles. And though she has almost honed it to an art form, she's managing multitasking to such an extent that it becomes very, very difficult to be able to manage all fronts.
So therefore the need, in every program has been stressed that we need a gender equal world. We need collective participation and collective responsibility also. So quickly, as I'm almost wrapping up this program today, what would be your words, or how would you look into the idea of gender equality? How can we bring it about?
I'm reminded of a book I read a long time back. It's by an author called Rokia Begum. And she speaks about this imaginary world where men are in parda and the women are free. And she's amazed at this, and it is explained to her that this way we eliminate all problems for women, because women will not be doing all the things that men do. So it's safer to put the men away and leave the women free.
But that's imagination.
That's an imagination. That's a and she calls it Ladyland. She was named it Ladyland. I don't wish for a Ladyland. I only wish for a more equal world.
Absolutely, right. This is what is required, right? Equality. Now, of course, in defense forces also, we have women or girls joining in also, but not in every field, not in every field. So you being from the NCC also, where you are leading from the front, how do you look into gender equality? Which are the ways you feel
I would
personally?
say, like in the society, like there was a phase when we were bringing up the girls for education, and you know, education is their right and all. Now I feel the boys also has to be educated, that a family is dual responsibility. Like a woman has gone to take up career, he also, right from the mother, I would say it's up to the women only to teach their boys that, you know, you are also responsible to bring up a family. So he has to be taught at the young age, where equality will come only when both of them share the responsibility.
Absolutely,
of a
and
family.
it all begins from the home, from the beginning, when a child is still young,
Yes,
right?
it should not be cooking is her thing and
No,
not
no.
men can't cook or something like that. The basic thing, you know, you can share the responsibility and also give her the rights. Not, I would say, give her the rights. Rather, it's dual. I
a
would say
shared
male and
responsibility.
female gender is nature is created in such a way we both have to coexist and take up responsibilities together.
Yeah, and quickly as we wrap up, Iban, you would like to just, you know, for all the women who are watching this program, what kind of, you know, spirited motivation you would like to give them?
I would say you have the right to say no and choose a way out. You, just because you are taught that you have to be patient and you have to ignore certain behavior, no, you can opt out.
Absolutely, and when
You can say no, you can opt out, and you don't have to ignore, speak.
all right, wonderful to have you know, all you ladies in this program. And you know, I'm just reminded of a quotation by Swami Vivekananda, who spoke long ago, that he said that the best thermometer to the progress of a nation is the treatment we give to women, right? So on that note, we hope that happier days and more progressive days are ahead for the society at large and for women specifically, so that we continue to live more happily in a gender equal society. Thank you so much, each one of you, Ma'am Munideepa, Rajita Ma'am, and Iban Sara, for coming to the studio of Doordarshan Shillong and for giving us such valuable information about this day. Thank you so much. Lovely to having you on. All right, so then, dear viewers, that's how the discussion went. I'm sure that you've enjoyed being with us, and do join us next time again, when we will be back with you with another topic with some more of our panelists. From all of us here, have a wonderful, wonderful time ahead. Bye-bye.